Hi, Mutt Jr. here, and today I'm bringing you a little tutorial for my Mushroom Island server. This one's going to be on the protections that's available that you can put in place to protect your stuff. We have a few different plugins that handle that. One of them, the first one here we're going to talk about, is LWC. That's going to be for locking your chests, your furnaces, doors, dispensers, or many other type of items like that. Now what we have here we've got a chest and a furnace. The crafting table that's just there, but you can't. There's not really nothing to lock for that. And of course we got a door, and this is just a little shack I built with a pen of cows in the back to just go through some of these demonstrations. So what we do here is, first of all, there's these commands. They all start with a /C. There are 4 main ones here that I'm going to cover for the LWC command. And the first one we'll do is, well, first, before we get started with that, let's first show what happens when you place down a chest. You see it comes up with the message saying that it created a private chest. And if you open it, it tells you again right down here that it's a private chest. Now same thing is going to be for a furnace. Let's see, I don't have another furnace, so let's make one quick. Because the furnace you can store items in there. There we go, we got a private furnace. And same thing, when I click on it, it tells you that it's a private furnace and who it's locked by. And that's when you first put them down. Now if you want to remove it, there is a /C remove command. If you type that in, it tells you to punch the protection. Boom, and there we go. It's now been removed the lock. So now you see there's no more message saying it's locked. You can do the same thing with chests, indoors, and everything. Now to lock the item, it's a C private, and we're making a private. We just made a private chest. So now we open it, and you see down here it tells you that it's a private chest. We can also do C public. Left click the block, and now the furnace, if you look down here, it tells you it's a public furnace. And what that means is that the private furnace, or the private protection, is going to mean that only you, since you're the owner, can get to it. Public means anybody can, but nobody can lock it. One other command here, you do a C info and punch the item. It's going to give you a display of the information on it. It's telling you that I'm the owner and where it's located, when I created it, and access, and just a lot of information. You do that with any of these items. Now with the door, you can do the same thing. Doors are not automatically protected when you put them in, not like the chests or dispensers, but we can do a /C private on the door, and now it's protected. And what else I like about this is I've set it up so after about 10 seconds, if you leave the door open, as long as it's a protected door, it automatically will close. I was just over in the village. I was getting sick and tired of walking around and finding all these doors left wide open. So I put that in. So now it's just automatically going to close. Oh, let's make it daytime, so we have some light and don't have so many mobs out there bugging us. Okay, yeah, we can also do that if we come back here. Look, where'd he go? There was an Ender. There's he is, Enderman. We can also do that with a gate. We'll make this a private gate. There. So now it opens. Stay in. Don't go. Don't go nowhere. Stay there. There. I see it closes. Of course, while it's open, the cows can get out, so I don't want them to get out. And so that's your LWC protection. Now the next one here is called FrameProtect, and that's going to protect any frames and paintings that you may have. There's like 3 main commands for that. There's protect, remove, and info. If we come in here, and they all start with an FP, and then whatever command you want. So let's start with the info, and this one you're going to right click on the item instead of left click. So a right click here tells you that this item's not protected. But it's the same thing when you put one up, it's automatically going to get protected. And we can put the item in, and now that item in there is protected too, so somebody can't just come by and decide they want to take that. If we do the FP info now, you'll see that it tells you that I'm the owner of this item frame. And then you get the same thing with paintings. I don't have a paint. Let me here. There we go. Got a painting there. Let's go ahead and put that up. See, now it tells you I created a private painting. So that's the same thing here. If I right click on there, I'm the owner of the painting. But over here, this one's not owned. So if I want to make myself the owner of it, since it's not protected, I do /FP Protect, and then right click on it, and now I just created a private item frame. If I come back in here to FP info, I'm now the owner. And then the last one here is called FP remove, which, as it says, you right click it, and I've just now deprotected, or unprotected, however you want to say it. Come in here, it's not protected. So anybody could come by and take that off the wall. So those are those two. Now, those two are pretty small and simple. One other one I forgot with the LWC is there's one here called C password. So first off, I need to remove the protection from the door to add it. There we go. And then we do a C password with the words you want for a password. So let's just do demo test is the password. And I left click, and there we go. Now it's protected, but it's telling me I don't have to put in my password. Now unfortunately I'm an admin, so I don't need a password anyway, so I can't really show you that. But when you open it, you see it's telling you now that it's the password wooden door. Anybody else that wants to come in, if they have the password, they can enter it in and they can come in. So it's a way that you can only let certain people gain access to your stuff. What is that? Look at that. Let's get rid of this guy. Oh look, creeper too. Come on. Fine. There we go. Okay, now back to what we were doing. Now back here with the cows, now I wanted to go through and do, this is the big one. This is the region protection. We're going to set up a region including the house and my cow pen back here. And I'm going to show you how that's done. Now this is using WorldGuard, and there are, there's a few things to it. It's a little more complicated. But what you want to do is you start off with a stick. I set it up as a stick just because, if you have a stick in your hand, there's not a lot of use for it that, anything else could, you could use a piece of rotten flesh for the same, the same thing you can use a stick for normally, if you want to dig up dirt or whatever. But it's a stick, so what you do is you come in and you just click on the first square that you want to protect, because we're going to be creating a box, an invisible box that's going to contain everything you want to protect. So let's start off right here. We right click, and you see it tells us the first position has been set. Now you want to go over to the second corner. It's the opposite corner, and that's going to create our box. Now let's see, we want to let's go here. Now we could just right click on this, because if you notice, if you remember the other one over there, we left clicked and that gave us the first position. Our second position we're going to right click on, and we could do it right here, but what's going to happen is, if you notice, you've got the X, Y, and Z coordinates. Y is the same here, 68, so we're not really creating a box, we're just creating a flat plane. We want a box though, because we want to protect everything up above. You know, we want to protect the walls of the house, the walls of the pen here, and all that. So what we want to do is go ahead, we'll climb up 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll come up 5 squares, and we'll do it here. Right click on there. Now if you notice, you know, we went from, you know, the X and the Z are the same, but now we've just changed the Y from 68 up to 73. So that's where we want to have the box. Now, let's say you've also got a basement going underneath the house. You know, a small basement or something. You can come over to your first position, and you can, you know, you can dig down, you know, say however many blocks you want to set that first position to what you need. Or there's another command we can use. It's called expand. And to do it, you just do X or / expand, and then the number of blocks to expand, which I'll do 5, and then which direction. And you have your choice of up, down, north, south, east, or west. So we'll go 5 down. And now, what that's done, it doesn't show you here, but it's taken the first position here, and now this will be down to 63. Once we set the region, you'll see that. So now we've just defined the parameters for what we want. You know, we can go ahead, we can change the parameters and all that before we actually establish the region and claim it. And now, so that's what we have. So let's go ahead and we'll claim it. To do that, we do a region claim, and then what name you want for the region. I'll just call it demo. And there, now it's all set. And if we do another command here that's going to be useful is if you do a region info. Now you can do, if you just do a region info, it's going to take whatever region you're currently standing in. So I'm in this demo region. We'll do that. And now it's telling me the region demo. And it tells you all the information. I'm the owner of it. And if you remember up here, we went from 68, we expanded it down 5. So now we're down to 63. And so it goes from the Y of 63 up to 73. Your X and Z isn't exactly how it was defined here. That's just taking the smaller one to put it for the first value and the higher one for the second. So it's not, you know, but it should be the same. 556 is here, 666 is here, 541 is right there, and 688 is right here. It's all there. So we've now established this region. And if we come outside that region info command here, it's going to tell you you didn't specify a region. You're not in a region and you didn't specify. You can do it, so you can provide the region name if you want, and it's going to give you the information. Okay, so now we've set up the region. Let's say for some reason you want to remove it, because you're allowed to establish one region up to 30,000 blocks in dimensions, or in volume. So let's say you want to remove this and move it somewhere else. So you do a /region remove and then the name of the region. And now it's gone. The region's not protected. So you can go ahead and you can move out, or if you want to you want to set up the region again, you can. And we've already got the 2 corners established, so we don't have to redo that. It might be a good idea to do it anyway, just to be safe. So let's come over here, and we'll do, there, we'll left click, there's your first position. And we'll come over and set up the second, right there. And now, okay, now if you notice I did that on the ground, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to expand it 5 up. So now that's going to include all of the house, because the house 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little bit above. And let's also expand it 5 down. So there we go. Now we'll claim the region. Same name, doesn't matter. And if we do an info, oh, RG, you can do it just a /RG, and that's short for region. If you notice now, yeah, see we're doing it from 63 to 73 again. We just didn't expand a couple times instead of, using building up the little pillar to get on top and set it up. Okay, it's getting to be night again. Let's make it day. There we go. Don't want to get bothered by any of the monsters out and about. So we've got that set up. The next thing we're going to do, now there's, if you notice, when we do an RG info, we have a list of owners. It's plural, so you can have more than one owner that owns this region. To do so, you do your region, add owner, the name of the region, and then who you're going to add. So let's just made up character named Bob, name up player. Doesn't even have to be a real player. So if you come in here, you'll see now I've got Bob listed as an owner, and then I'm, Bob and myself as the owner. Now what this means is that Bob can do anything I can do in this area, since we're both owners. Now they have another thing called a group, or a member, which we can go ahead, let's first of all, let's remove Bob as owner. And that's done doing the remove owner, same thing with the region name and the player name. And now he's gone. So if we come back here, you'll see it's just me as the owner. Instead of making him an owner, I want to make him a member of my region. So we'll do the add member, and there we go. And as you can see here now, we have the owner is myself, and then Bob is a member. So a member can be set up to be have lesser roles, lesser rights in this region than the owner does. I can give members the right to build in this region, but they can't go and, they can't be adding other people as owners or members or anything. But, I can give them the right to go ahead and build if they wanted to, if I wanted to. So, and of course to remove, it's the same thing as the owner. Remove member, demo, Bob. And there we go. And you see we're back to the way it was originally. There's also a few flags that you can set for this region to kind of configure how things work in here. To do that is going to be a flag, RG flag, region flag, the name of the region, and this is where it's going to get a little more tricky, but you want to do here's, the first one we'll cover is construct. This is going to be who's going to be allowed to construct in here. And like I said, when we had Bob as a member, we could set it up so he could actually build and destroy blocks. But we'll set this up, construct owners, which is going to mean that only owners can do any construction in this area. You can also do members, you can do non-members, you can do non-owners, you can do all, which means anybody can come by and build in here. But let's just do it owners. That's a good one to do. That means it's just if you own this region, you're the only one who can build here. So there, we got that set. Or you can do the info, the region info. Just check that out. And I see right here in blue, right above the owners, it lists your flags. So it's listing construct its owners. Another flag that's kind of useful, you might want to set depending, on what you want. Let's see, flag, demo. This one is called deny spawn. And then you put a list of the different mobs you don't want to spawn in this area. So say we don't want creepers. You just separate, put a comma in each of them. Or skeletons. That should just do singular, skeleton. And you can keep adding on. You can say zombie, enderman, if you want to get in pig, cow, and all that, you can do that too if you want, or spider. So, if you see here, we now have construct owners and now deny spawn, creeper, skeleton. What this means is that inside this region, no creepers or skeletons will be spawning. But if we come right out here, we could, like right here, you see I'm not in a region, so at this spot we could have a creeper spawn right here, and he can come wandering into the region. So it's not a, it's not an absolute protection from all mobs in your region. It's just that they won't spawn here, but they can still come walking in. So there's no like invisible force field or anything. So don't assume that. Now there's also a PvP flag that you can set. So you can do RG flag, demo, and this flag, it's called PvP, and you can set it to allow, deny, or none. So let's say deny. Now this is going to mean that nobody, it doesn't matter if you have PvP enabled for yourself or not, nobody will be able to do any PvP in here. So if you had PvP enabled, somebody else with PvP enabled came in, you two couldn't fight in here. You'd have to go outside the region to actually do your fighting with each other. There's two more here I'm going to cover. These are just kind of neat little ones that you might want to do or you might not. But it's called greeting and farewell. And what these are, let's see, do the RG flag demo, the region name, and then greeting, and what you want to a message that displays when they enter into your region. So let's do howdy. That's our message we're gonna do. So now, if we come out and we come back in, you see as soon as we come in, that message howdy shows up. And we do the same thing with a farewell. We'll just say see ya. And now that's set. So when we leave, it comes up and says see ya. Come back in, howdy, and see ya. And that's what everybody's going to see when they come into your region and when they leave. Okay, so, and that's pretty much it. One other protection I have here, which is really nothing you have to do, no commands you need to do for it or anything, but it's an animal protection command. So as long as you have construction rights in this region, you can actually come in and you can you can kill the animals here. So, you can set up a farm, raise some cows, pigs, chickens, whatever, and people can't just come wandering in and start killing them for no reason. But you can, because you have, as long as you're set up with construction rights, you're the owner of this area, you can do whatever you want in here, but other people can't. Now, of course, you can change that. You can do, give construct rights to members, and that somebody else is a member, and they should be able to come in and do it too. I haven't really tested that, but that's the way I understand that plugin works. And that's basically how you set up your region. If you've got, there's also a write-up here, one of the e-info topics called Protect. Actually, if you just do an e-info, it gives you a little welcome message and gives you a little explanation about the area. But let's go to page 2. And that gives you some more information that you can do. Like here you got that e-info protect, PvP test chase, ranks, death chest, ranks, marketplace, and also on the third page again. Oh yeah, contact. That's how to contact any of the staff or myself. So if you're in the game and you want a little more info, you just go e-info protect, and that's going to give you all this information here, and tells you about locking your chests, furnaces, dispensers, and you can just do /LWC and you'll get a list of commands. Here's all the commands for that. Now there's going to be more listed here since I am admin, but they're going to show the commands. It should show just the commands that you have access to, and a little description of them. Same thing here with item frames and paintings. Do a /FP help. /FP help, and here again it's showing you the different commands you have available to yourself. I don't think you have access to save and reload, so that won't be there, but I get it since I'm an admin. And then hold on a second. I'm sorry, I just got this cold and had to cough. I didn't want to cough all over you guys. So okay. Then we get into protecting your property from griefers. The little explanation tells you you claim one region up to 30,000 blocks, and then goes through the steps of doing it. Like I said, with a stick, that's your wand. One corner you define, you left click, and then the opposite corner, you right click with the stick. We go on to page 2, and this is going to tell you how to use the /expand command. And then once you have your block set up, how to actually claim it, doing a region claim with a little example. Let's see, and then how to remove it is right there. How to get the info, add and remove owners and members. And there's a third page here, and this is where you're going to get into all the different flags you can set. Construct, deny spawn, farewell, greeting, and PvP. Even tells you here to do /einfo PvP. So that's how you do the protection. Now just one thing to note, that this is how I have it set up on this particular server. This information might come in handy on other servers. It all depends on how the owners of those servers set them up. One of the things that, as I said, that I used the stick for a wand. The default was actually a wooden axe, but I decided to change it to a stick because a wooden axe has more actual use in your hand than a stick does. A stick really has no real main functioning purpose in your hand, so I changed it to that. Now, of course, the admin of another server can set it to whatever they want. So you be sure to check with them on what it is. But other than that, the same basic principle should hold. You might have rights to do other things than what I have set up, or you might have less. You just have to check with them. So, and again, I'll have the address for the server down below. This farm's not going to be here. I'm going to get rid of this. I just set this up as a demo. It's not really any place that I'm going to set up to live in or anything. I've got my own place to do that already. And I might even give another tour of the server. Some of the stuff that I've done on here. We set up the Nether, gone there, set up some stuff out there. So, but for now, until I can think of something else to do a tutorial on, this is going to be it. And if you have any ideas on what you want a tutorial to do on the server, just let me know. Leave a comment below, or you can put it on the forum, which I'll leave a link to below also. And until next time, we'll see you later.